All right. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Welcome to the live show. This one is show you how the spirit works. Now, I was just listening to up and coming elder Yashawamba's video dealing with Captain Tazariak being an unreasonable man. And as I'm listening to the video, the scriptures start to come to mind, about King David and how he was pretty much on his deathbed and how he was cold and he didn't get no heat, and how they brought him this damsel, a beautiful damsel to warm him up, right? Now this guy Captain Tazariak said that he didn't have sex with her, blah blah, this, that, and the other, that's deviant, whatever. And as I was watching the video before Elder Yashwama said it, it came to mind. It said, wait a minute. If it was just a matter of King David being cold and he needed some heat, he had Bathsheba, which was the love of his life, so to speak. Why didn't they get Bathsheba? He had other wives too. Why didn't they get some of the other wives to come huddle around him and keep him warm? Because that wasn't the warmth they was talking about. I mean, he was cold, he was older, yeah, but they were seeing if there was still any fire left in him. They were still seeing if there was any fire left in him, and pretty much by him not having sex with that woman, they already knew, okay, yeah, he's ready for the grave, because King David was known as a womanizer. King David was known as what they call in this society a womanizer. He was known for having many women. So if it was a matter of just being warm because he was cold of old age, they would have got Bathsheba, which was still alive. She could have laid by him, and his other wives. They could have came and huddled up around him just to give him some warmth, to warm him up. Which shows you it wasn't just about that. It wasn't just about that type of warmth, And the Spirit of the Lord is my witness. Yahweh Bashem Shai is my witness. As I was thinking those thoughts, maybe not even a minute or 30 seconds or a minute later, Elder Yashwama said the same exact thing. I said, see, because I was gonna do a quick video on it. And I said, you know what? Let me just do a video on to show how the Spirit works. Because I never really thought about that before, about King David being cold. They could have got Bathsheba or some of his other wives. And all of a sudden, I'm listening to this brother's video, and I'm thinking about the scripture, and I was, wait a minute. They could have got Bathsheba to warm him up. That was the love of his life, pretty much. She was one of his main women, that he loved to death, so much. So why didn't they get her? And then the Spirit kept it where he had other wives too. So yeah, they could have got all his wives, and they could have gathered around him and just put covers over him, and then they just warm him up, because it wasn't talking about that kind of warmth. That's a part of it, but the main part of the warmth that it's talking about is talking about he didn't get aroused. He didn't have that passion to pop this woman. And he had many women. So it wasn't a matter of King David not being able to deal with women. He had plenty of women, but it was just, he was pretty much at his deathbed, and he was still mobile. He was still alert, because he even, after all of that, he even had enough strength to set up King Solomon, as king, because Adonijah had taken the throne at the time. So that was one of the last acts that he did, was to set up his son Solomon as the king, because that's who was supposed to reign after him. So I just wanted to do something on that, to show you how the Spirit works. Before the Elder Yashawamba even said what he said, the Spirit, put that in my mind to think like that. There was Bathsheba, then there was other of his wives still alive. Why didn't they get them just to warm him up? Because it wasn't just about that heat. It was about the other heat, and this Western society has destroyed the minds of these guys, man. It just destroyed their minds, to where they can't think straight unless they rationalize what Esau's thinking, and pretty much they're blinded by the ways of this world. So the gospel, certain parts of the gospel are hit to them, in this society, because the God of this world, which is Esau, has blinded their minds to where they can't get it, they can't see it. So I just wanted to, commit that to video, or like brothers say, put it on wax. because it was something that came to mind before Elder Yashawamba even said that. And another thing too, Tazaryak, Captain Tazaryak pulled that shit that he said out of his ass. He said, well, it's so sad that I have to say that this virgin wasn't 13 or 14 years old. She was more than likely 17, 18 years old. He pulled that shit right out of his ass. And it says she was a damsel. And when you go to the New Testament, the damsel that Yahushua raised up, she was 12 years old. Because when you go to the Greek on it, it tells you that a damsel was a woman that was around 12 years old. So, these guys are just emotional. They're not going to accept it. They're going to keep calling us what they keep calling us. And the majority of people are going to listen to them because of the majority of the people are blinded. And the majority of people are still under this Western society and under the grip of Esau, the so-called white man. Even Israelites that are woke now are still under the guise and the sleep of this devil. They know they're Israelites. They're out there teaching that the Lord is only dealing with the nation of Israel, but they're still under the spell of Esau. You could read 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter on that, where it speaks about because they didn't receive the love of the truth, So they were given over to that reprobate mind. So, with that, I'm just going to close it out there. Just a couple of things I had wanted to say, just to show you how the Spirit works, that before the elder even said that those thoughts came into my mind. So I said, you know what, I'll do a little quick video on it. But then when he said it, I was like, oh, snap. So it just shift gears to, instead of doing a lesson on it, do a lesson and show how the Spirit works. The Lord said to let the prophet speak 2 or 3 at a time. So that's how the Lord operates. This is a unit. The church is a unit of different men that make up the different offices, of, the truth, and the Lord reveals things to them, that way, in those waves, just to show you how the Spirit works. So with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. To the next time I say shalom.